When you have a chance to win a championship, I don't think you can retire.
I mean, I definitely see what you're saying, but I'm being cautiously optimistic here because obviously, like I said, those of you that listen to the show and everything know that I'm a big fan of Hendrick, and Jeff Gordon's been my favorite driver forever. But his back, he said you heard his interview. He was just like, oh, I take 2 steps forward and then I get in an accident like this. He was like, I didn't need it. I kind of almost laughed a tiny bit when he was like, I didn't need it. I was like, well, nobody needs a wreck. I mean, that was kind of like what I said because the way I kind of took that was for a second like, well, I mean, Harvick doesn't have a bad back, but he didn't need a wreck. It's just kind of like, but I know what he meant, but he didn't need a wreck that hard. But, somebody had said that he said that family life had really changed him. And not just that, but he does have, his back seems to, like, it's not that story that we heard about in the beginning of the year that's gone away. It continues to come back.
And the off season is so short for NASCAR. There's not really a time to
have surgery and
recover. Yeah.
I mean, the only option for him, and I know other drivers have done this in the past. I believe Earnhardt might have done it at one point in his career. I don't know that for sure. But what a driver will do is they'll wait, and the day after Homestead, they'll have surgery, and they'll miss, depending on what it is, they'll give up like that because you know how they test for like a month in in January at Daytona, and they'll give that up, and they'll be like they'll go like the week after. Or the day after the last race of the year, and they'll not practice until like a week before the 500. But that's still I don't know.
Earnhardt did it in 99.
Thank you, producer. Earnhardt did do that in 99, so I was right. But so I don't know. I hope not. But I agree with you. Like, he's third in points. He's won a race this year. He's been competitive. So I don't know. But
another thing with him, if he did retire, it would just be weird watching NASCAR without him there. Because ever since I started watching, there's been like, he's one of the few guys that has been there the whole time. It's like him, Mark Martin,
Jeff Burton,
Bobby Labonte.
I can't think of many more.
And Bobby Labonte's barely hanging around.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting. I do agree with it. He said when he wrecked in qualifying. I don't know if you knew this. He wrecked in qualifying about a month and a half ago at Dover, and it was a hard hit. He didn't actually spin, but he just slapped the wall, and he was like, that really hurt. And then he did this weekend. So, but I'm glad everybody was okay. That was a scary wreck. And poor Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick.
Well,
Harvick said it. Oh, well, and Jeff Burton said it, I believe. He was like, well, it's the kind of the way the year has been. If there's a wreck that's going to happen, it's going to happen directly in front of us. So, but I'm glad everybody's okay. Casey Kane caused that. Took out. And then the driver that we met, because we met David. I remember you said, I was like, Kyle, that's the driver we met, and you were like, oh. So
yeah, he was kind of a jerk when we met him, and now I think I have a grudge against him now they took out Harvick. So hopefully he doesn't have to meet me again.
So obviously we've been talking a little bit about what happened in the race. What's kind of exciting is last week we started our fantasy picks that we were going to do every week, and we actually made a pretty good showing for the most part. We both picked Tony Stewart. And Tony Stewart won, so we picked the winner.
Yeah.
Yay! So we look smart, maybe. I don't know. I don't look smart. You do probably, but we both picked Stewart, so we got those points canceled out. They got 195 for that, obviously, for the winning. However, you look really awesome in this because you picked 1-2.
Marcos Ambrose finished second.
Yeah,
that's 1-2.
So you picked 1-2. Ambrose, like we said, has a very strong car. Won Saturday's Busch race. I don't know if you knew that. He won the Busch race on Saturday, so very good road racer. So you got 1-2, so that was 175. And then my second pick, if you will, was Montoya, who had a good showing, finished 6th. Could have been a little higher maybe, but I mean strategy and whatever. So he finished 6th. And then our last picks are what really made the difference. I picked Robbie Gordon, who was never really up there, but finished 18th, which is probably higher than he was. And you picked Jeff Gordon, who probably would have finished in the top 10. Maybe up there, like 11th-ish, he would have finished.
Yeah, I know, probably maybe around 15th.
Yeah.
But
so it would have been so he got 37th because he ended up wrecking.
Right.
So your total ended up being 422 for Ambrose, Stewart, and Jeff Gordon, and for Montoya, Robbie Gordon, Stewart, I had 454.
Oh.
32 points separated you and me, and the deal breaker were the Gordons.
Jeff Gordon costing me big time.
He did cost you 32 points evidently, or whatever it is, but I mean, you got, so it kind of, you got 1-2. It's kind of like what we do every year at Chicagoland. You got 1-2, but it weighed you down big time. But if Jeff Gordon even would have finished 15th, you would have beat me because Robbie Gordon was never up there. I mean, he wasn't. He was because he drives in over his head.
That's what we predicted.
Well, and that's what I told you is I just wanted to go out on a limb a little bit. I knew he was going to drive over his head and get in a wreck or something.
He's won before, like we talked about.
So, but so that kind of wraps up Watkins Glen. Obviously this weekend we have.
Well, there's one more notable thing from.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Busch had a good finish.
Yeah, whatever.
4th, and he really needed that after
he did
2 straight. What did he? DNFs were they, or were they just really
he
bad
had
runs?
he in the last 10 races had only had one top 10, and that was at New Hampshire. So he really needed a. Okay, well, he had our producer says he had a top 15 at Pocono, but he's only had one top 10 since New Hampshire, or in the last 10 race span. So the point is he needed a very good finish. Thank you, producer, by the way.
That puts him
closer. He cut like 30 points
Yeah.
off. Yeah, because I guess one other thing we could bring up about Watkins Glen was Mark Martin did not show up. He did not show up. He finished like 20th or something like that. Where did he finish? Do you have it up there? Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I've got it. Mark Martin.
20, I swear, like,
23rd, it was
yeah,
23rd.
and see, and that's quite honestly about where as high as he was. He just never showed up, and that really shocks me. So that was good for Kyle Busch because it gained on, I guess if anybody, it gained mostly on Martin because Biffle and Kenseth had decent days. So it'll be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, Kyle Busch did need that. And then of course he got out of his car and complained. He was like, the car was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Nothing worked. It was, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
he made it sound like he finished 20th or something like that, but 4th, I mean, come on.
yeah, I agree. But the ongoing saga that is Kyle Busch. Anyway, this weekend we have coming up my favorite track on the schedule, and by that, hopefully you can tell I'm dripping with sarcasm. They're racing at Michigan for the second time this year. They raced there just a couple of months ago, and it was the race where Johnson and Biffle battled for the lead. Johnson ran out coming to the white flag. Then Biffle ran out on the white flag, and Mark Martin took the lead and won. Jeff Gordon finished second. So what are your thoughts about this upcoming race? What are you excited about or not excited? Is it another Pocono for you or what?
It's slightly better than Pocono because there'll be some racing going on. But yeah, it's not the most exciting race to watch.
No, it's not. I will. As we tend to be agreeing a little bit today on things, I will agree with you. Michigan's not my favorite track. It's never been. Okay, I'll just say it. I've never liked Michigan. There's been I think I can remember because I've seen virtually every race there. I've seen a lot of them. Probably 20 total or whatever since I've started watching NASCAR, and I can remember one or two that I can remember. I remember a caution-free race there that was terrible. I remember several races where I'm just like, this is terrible. It's good for the drivers. It supposedly provides good racing. It just does not interest me. I hope that it's exciting this weekend because somebody's gonna get hooked up and run away with it.
Probably.
That's the way it usually works.
Probably Jimmy Johnson, following NASCAR script.
Oh yeah, I saw that on our Racing Stuff page. NASCAR is fixed. That was funny. NASCAR is not fixed. You're a conspiracy theorist. So anyway, that being said about Michigan, we're going to continue our fantasy picks, and we're going to make an all-star roster of 3 drivers each for this weekend's Michigan race. Like I said, they're racing there again. So who's your first pick for Michigan?
My first pick is Carl Edwards. He had a good run at Watkins Glen, and Roush is usually pretty good at Michigan, or so I hear.
They are.
So I'm going to have to go with Edwards.
My first pick is also in the same camp. It's in Roush. I'm going with the guy that came about a quarter and a half, so I guess that would be 3/8 of a lap from winning, and that's Greg Biffle. Biffle had a good run also at Watkins Glen. He needs a good run to solidify his spot in the chase. He is historically pretty good at Michigan, so I'm gonna go with Biffle for my first pick. Do me proud, Roush, for once. Because watch, I hate when they do well, and then when I pick them for things, they actually do terrible. That's the way it usually works. That's how when I used to do fantasy racing, it always worked. Anyway, I'm digressing. Your second pick?
My second pick, I'm going to go with Mark Martin because he won in the earlier race, and he's still been on, well, apart from Watkins Glen, he's been on a really hot